We are sorry to interrupt that press conference, but there is a breaking story unfolding involving the deaths of nursing home residents on the North Shore. We are told that the Louisiana Health Department is investigating. Many nursing homes were evacuated from the South Shore. And we understand that all of these residents were taken to one particular facility, and they use the word loosely, it's in quotes, to Independence. And Erica Ferrando, she is on this story. She is standing by. We understand that 4 patients have died and more are being taken to the hospital.
This is just a scary and tragic situation out here. We're outside Waterbury Companies. It's a big warehouse in Independence that's north of Hammond. And right now, workers are relocating some of those nursing home residents who evacuated here on Friday to escape from Hurricane Ida. We learned from the Louisiana Department of Health that 4 of these nursing home residents died after evacuating here. 3 were classified as storm-related deaths. We don't have more information about their exact causes of death, but we know that about 850 patients were here. We had multiple sources confirm that this is where those nursing home residents were staying and where those deaths occurred. I actually spoke with one of the workers. We're not sharing his name, but he said that this did not surprise him because the conditions were so poor. The way he described it sounded like cots were piled on top of each other. He said at one point water made it into the building and they had to relocate some of those patients to higher ground. LDH said they got complaints about deteriorating conditions at the facility after Ida made landfall. The LDH inspectors tried to visit the site, but they said they were not allowed in by the workers. LDH said they have significant concerns about the conditions in this facility. They've been evacuating these residents all day. They're still evacuating them. They came from nursing homes from 7 different facilities. And upon rescuing them, we learned that 12 of the residents were found to be in a condition where they needed hospitalization. LDH says this is a serious and active investigation and said they will be taking action against these nursing facilities and they'll be making appropriate referrals to law enforcement. Now I'm going to give you a list of the 7 facilities. They're from Southeast Louisiana. River Palms Nursing and Rehab, that's in Orleans Parish. South Lafourche Nursing and Rehab in Lafourche, Maison Orleans Healthcare Center, Park Place Healthcare Nursing Home in Jefferson Parish, West Jefferson Healthcare Center in Jefferson Parish, Maison DeVille Nursing Home in Terrebonne, and Maison DeVille Nursing Home in Harvey. And we believe that all of those nursing homes have the same owner, and it also appears that he owns this warehouse as well. Of course, we're still learning a lot about this situation, and we'll bring you updates as we receive them. For now, live in Independence, I'm Erica Ferrando, Eyewitness News. Back to you.
Erica, please don't go anywhere. We appreciate you fielding our questions. You mentioned 850 patients, 12 of whom are hospitalized, 4 of whom have passed. What about the hundreds of others? Do we have any idea where they are taking them to?
As of now, we are still trying to get answers to those questions. We have questions into LDH. We're trying to learn where exactly they're taking them to. I don't know right now, but they are taking them all out by ambulance right now. And the 12 residents that were taken to hospitals earlier this morning was just, as of about, I don't know what time it was, but it was earlier this morning. So they still may have more residents that may require hospitalization as well. Right now, they're just wheeling them all out on wheelchairs and putting the ones, I guess, that need to be in an ambulance on an ambulance and taking them out of here. But we're still trying to figure out where exactly they're going.
It would appear, if you look behind you, either they're trying to protect the privacy of the patients or they're trying to prevent the media from getting shots of them evacuating these patients for a second time. Were you able to eyeball any of the residents and see their condition as they were being taken out?
Well, we did see some just kind of that were wheeled out on their wheelchairs, and we couldn't really tell their condition. We do know that some of them were put on ambulances and some, it looks like, are just going in a van to be transported somewhere. So it was kind of difficult to see the conditions. But yes, they started putting these blinds up to, we assume to protect the privacy, which we respect that. We don't want to reveal the, the identity of any of these residents either. But yes, they started putting putting these like blinds up just about 30 minutes ago.
Okay, and you mentioned that water got in and they had to move to higher ground. Can you elaborate on that?
Well, I don't know too much about that, but I spoke with one of the workers who was actually working at the time. He didn't give me too many details about himself and his exact job because we don't want to identify him. Of course, he didn't want his identity out there, but he did say that water during the hurricane made it in. We don't know if it was roof damage or if it made it in, you know, from the doors down here. It looks like it's probably only a one-story warehouse. I guess it could be two. It's kind of hard to tell because there's no windows. I don't know if we can show you this warehouse, but you can see the big sign that says Waterbury Companies. We can't tell, you know, it could be one or two stories. We don't know what this is either. We haven't had enough time to look into what this warehouse is exactly for. But you know, it just looks like a big warehouse, and it sounds like they just stuffed a whole bunch of cots in there, and you can kind of get an idea of how big the warehouse is from out here. But you know, they had 850 residents in there, and that's a lot. And the worker we spoke with said, you know, the other concern is of course COVID. We're still in a pandemic, and you had just residents piled basically on top of each other in here. We just saw another man come out on a stretcher, so it looks like they're bringing some out on stretchers and some out just in wheelchairs. So we're still learning a lot out here.
I know we don't want to jump to assumptions, but this looks absolutely outrageous from the outside looking in. I just Googled the Waterbury Companies and just found on Indeed.com someone back in 2017 had said they left the company because the working conditions were so hot. You don't see any, do you see any ventilation? Did that worker tell you whether or not there was any generator that was, you know, able to provide, you know, cool air to these vulnerable patients?
No, we don't know that, and that is a very good point because it is so hot out here, and I can't hear any generators from where we are. They have one of the doors open right on the side of the building, and so, I mean, I don't know if you would think that maybe air conditioning wasn't on in there, but we don't know the answer to that question right now. But you know, if you've ever been in any big warehouse, they're never really very cool. So, you know, hopefully they did have a generator somewhere because we know that they must have lost power out here. But, you know, you would need a lot of fans most likely to try and cool down this entire place. We're still trying to learn that information, but he did say, you know, it was just very, very poor conditions.
And Erica, thank you so much for bearing with us as we ask you more and more questions. And really to kind of reiterate, you mentioned that the LDH, they went there, they tried to take a look at what was inside to get an idea of the living conditions, and they were not allowed to go in?
That is what they said. LDH, you know, sent us a press release about this just a little while ago and said that they tried to come in for an inspection. It sounds like they received some complaints and were not allowed in, which I'm not sure how that is, you know, possible or legal that LDH wouldn't be allowed in for an inspection, but that is what LDH said. LDH says they are very concerned about this and now are making sure that all of these nursing home residents have a safer place to get to.
Okay. And then let's go over, if we can, we'll just keep that picture up, and I'll let you kind of just look over your shoulder and see if there's anything you want to add while I go over the nursing home list. These were the nursing homes on the South Shore that were evacuated to this warehouse that has no visible windows. And just according to a worker on the inside, all of these people were just placed on top of each other practically with cots. These are the 7 facilities, nursing homes that were evacuated on the South Shore to this facility. River Palms Nursing and Rehab, that is in Orleans Parish. South Lafourche Nursing and Rehab in Lafourche Parish. Maison Orleans Healthcare Center, Orleans Parish. Park Place Healthcare Nursing Home, Jefferson Parish. West Jefferson Healthcare Center, Jefferson Parish. Maison DeVille Nursing Home in Terrebonne Parish, and Maison DeVille Nursing Home of Harvey, also in Jefferson Parish. If I am a relative of one of these people, I am extremely upset right now and very anxious for information. Did the Department of Health give any kind of, I'm looking at this press release right now too, and I don't see like a number. I'm glancing at it very, very quickly, but like a hotline where people can call to see if their loved ones are okay. And let's not stop this video. You're watching, if you're just joining us now, excuse me, Erica, I just want to let people know, they are evacuating patients, I'm using the term patients, that's what they are now, but they are evacuating residents of nursing homes by ambulance to take them to the hospital from this warehouse to which they were evacuated, presumably to keep them safe. But they were placed in there, 843 of them, in this one facility owned by one man whose name we are waiting to hear, but they are now having to evacuate them. Do we have any information that we can pass along to the families of these residents?